guys, this is Pinkie the Housewife. I'm here today with my dear beloved mom, Dr. Hightower. Okay? Her name actually is Dr. Myrtle Hightower, but I call her mom or Dr. Hightower. She's a legend in these parts, and I would love to introduce you to the great Dr. Hightower.
Thank you, my darling daughter.
You're welcome, Mom.
I've always called you that.
Yes, you have.
From the first day I met you, and I'm still that. You're still that. You're growing in my heart.
Thank you.
You've always been it the first day. And then I asked you about your husband. And then I met Darling, a handsome. When I say handsome, I think of the kinds of insides that he has, the kind of person that he is, maybe to people around him, to his family, and to me.
Yeah.
And to all. He has always been a sticker. It's just a quiet soul, but very, very deep.
Yes.
Now, I'm ready for you to just go dig into my life.
Okay,
as
thank
much as
you.
want to.
Thank you. Make me want to cry though, but Mom, I do call her Mom a lot of times, okay?
Yes.
But Mom, let's tell them how old you are right now.
Now, I'm 99 years of age.
You all guys
And
see
you know
that?
what? I have fairly good health.
Yes, you do.
I like the things I used to like. Eating good food, and particularly fruits, vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And I like my bananas and oranges, and my apples are not so well for me because of my chewing is not as good as it used to be. But my peaches I love too. So all of those kinds of things I like to do. So you go and ask me some questions.
Today we're here to we're gonna do Mom's life story, Dr. Hightower's life story. She's been asking for this for many years. She always talked to me about it, or my husband. She always said, even to her daughter, her niece, which I call her daughter, because she raised her.
Yes.
But she always talks about how she wants to tell her story because she has a very unique, interesting story of herself growing up from a baby up into what she is today. And she's moved around in a lot of big, powerful circles, as I would say. She's well known in her community and even outside of her community, even far away. She's known everywhere throughout the world, I would say, and people love her. So I want her to tell you her story, but when you would see her and just the mention of her name, that she's in a facility or at an event or at a function that's going on, she draws a lot of people, and people would line up for hours just to get her signature or just to be photographed with her. That's the Dr. Hightower I got a chance to meet. And she took a shine to me, what we call a shine or a liking to me, out of nowhere. We met one day, and she's been glued to me forever, ever since then, and I'm glued to her. We're family, so people used to say when they see me, they see her. When they see her, they see me. That's how we used to roll like that all the time. But we're gonna talk about her life, how she grew up, where she came from, where she was born, her family, the different things that she have done in her life and everything. It's just making me cry right now just thinking about it. Oh, did you want? And we are out. Wait, I got one in my pocket, I think, Mom. I got one. I got one. So yeah, it makes me cry as well. Just thinking about it.
Make that thing get out of your eye.
Yeah, just bring tears to my eyes just thinking about it. But I'm going to let Dr. Hightower tell you just a few minutes of her. And remember, guys, we're going to do several videos of her speaking. So every 2 weeks I will be back so we can continue. It's supposed to be a book. We was going to do a book about this. But who knows what this may lead to. It may lead to your book one day that you always wanted to write of yourself. But we're going to do this and we'll keep, so you all get a chance to ride her journey with her about her life. So I'm going to turn it over to my mom, Dr. Hightower.
But meanwhile, stop me and get ask questions forever.
Okay, I will.
Well, now, as you said, I was born in, 1923, or it's 1923. I was born on a farm near Fort Yates, Oklahoma. And mind you, I was born during the time of real tough integration. Not integration, desegregation. In the area there, Fort Yates, as all over America, a southern part of America, one was highly segregated. And with that, I had the loving parents as I'm meeting with my son and Nathan and my daughter, Pinkie.
She's talking about me.
They had come up on no time like this. So my father was a very influential kind of man to himself. He purchased a farm, almost 300 acres.
Ooh,
and on that farm, we had a lovely little home. And there were 5 of us. And we all got along. We were all loving children. And we were all children that my father and my mother, I thought, loved dearly. Now, having on that farm, there was a school almost 2 blocks, and that's why he purchased that land. 2 blocks where we could walk to school. And we walked to that schoolhouse, and there were maybe 20 or 30 children from that area could come in to that school. The teacher came from Fort Gibbs, Oklahoma.
Mom, may I just stop you for one moment? Betsy, when I was visiting her before I got here, she did mention to me, guys, that she wanted you to talk about the school. It was something important about that school that she wanted everybody to know about. Your school. I don't know whether...
No, that was not the school. This was a little school where I was going to school.
Okay.
And this little school went to from the beginning of school life, let's say from the first grade, from the beginning of like preschool, first grade, second grade, third through 7th grade.
And that's back in the time?
That's near Fort Yates, Oklahoma.
Okay, but
That's
how many years was that? What year time frame are we looking at when you was in that when you was in that school? Do you remember?
I don't remember the date. It was the early 20s.
1920s.
In the 20s.
Okay, it was around 1920 something when.
In the 20, because I was born in 23.
Okay.
So
she
then,
was born in 1923.
So evidently, this was during the time that I was born.
Okay.
And then school camp was there.
Okay.
And then we still lived in that area, and I went to that school.
Was that a one-room school?
A one-room school.
I think that's what Betsy wanted to make sure
I
asked you a question.
In a one-room school.
A one-room school, and how would you compare it to the schools that going on in 2022 or 2020? in this time?
In this time,
Yeah,
much different.
much different.
Yes, I can, but we enjoyed that old school. We, the teacher was a vibrant person.
Okay.
You have to depend on teachers sometimes to
Mm-hmm.
learn to bring you out. So that teacher taught us, and particularly me, I liked reading,
Mm-hmm.
and I went there until I went seventh grade,
Okay.
eighth grade,
Okay.
from the beginning of
Beginning of
life to
school
the eighth
to
grade.
the 8th grade. Okay.
And in the ninth grade, there was a school called Fort Lincoln High School in Fort Gibson, Oklahoma.
Okay.
I went to Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. We're called the little city. To that school. There you had more teachers. You had teachers to teach all the kind of grades. You had them sprinkled out then to teach us some grades. Ninth grade. I went to ninth grade through the 12th grade. Now, during that study, I began to realize that I loved English and science.
Okay.
I loved those two classes most particularly, but yet I was a fairly good student, they say. In doing that, from that ninth grade, as I told you, we had to go to school there.
Yeah.
Having lived on that farm, and there's something to do every day on that. So we had to walk and head to school. And we weren't the only one. There were a family of about 5 who walked, and they lived above us in a little town, maybe another mile ahead of us.
You
And
say
they had to
walk.
walk.
Are you talking about maybe just a few blocks, or was it a mile?
No, we walked. So we walked 3 miles. I walked 3 miles from our home.
From your home to school, it was like a 3-mile walk.
I think it was 3.5 miles.
3.5.
One way.
Can you imagine that? Walking 3.5 miles to go
One
to
way.
school.
There
One
were
way.
about one way. Yeah, one
That's
way.
one way.
So that meant 7 miles
Right.
a day.
So you added up. That's a lot.
And on rainy days and that, we went and
So
by that time my daddy purchased a car.
okay. So before he got the car, you all walked, but even on
And
bad
even after
weather
the
days.
car,
Right, you
bad
still-
weather days. And
Was it cold some days, and you all still had?
very cold some days, but we walked. And
Was the school had a heater or something? So by the time you get there, you can
then we
warm up.
had a heater, and then we carried our dinner, our lunch over there, in a little bucket,
Okay.
a little tin bucket.
Oh.
But usually, it was prepared by the teacher.
Okay.
She would prepare our food.
So once you bring your food to lunch in your tin bucket every day, the teacher then.
No, you
For
had
lunch?
your own lunch. You ate it yourself at lunchtime. But
But you
sometimes,
prepared it. Correct?
sometimes there was a prepared lunch that
Okay.
we didn't have to take our lunch.
Okay.
But this time, most of the time, you had to take it.
Okay.
So that you had to take your lunch in a little tin bucket and eat that lunch for so many minutes a day, 30 or 40 minutes
Okay.
lunchtime. And then you go back to your classes.
How long was the school hour? Like kids here go to school from like 8 to 3 or something like that?
You went to school from 9 to 4.
9 to 4?
9
Okay.
to 4.
And that was just, it was Monday through Friday the way
Monday
it is?
through Friday.
Okay.
So they each went to school.
And then when you all get out of school,
You
then you had
but
make
back
that
home,
long walk home.
back home.
Then you had, did you have chores
studied.
to do? A study?
The study period. My parents had died. We had to do a study period by the lamplight. A study period came after the chores
Okay.
at home. Now, chores at home, we had cows
Okay.
that a cow to make to milk
Milk the cow.
and milk a cow and to help with straining of that of the
Okay.
cream
So
and the butter.
when you get out of
And
school,
out
you
of
walk
school.
3.5 miles home.
And then
Then you have chores to do before you even do your
study.
your studies.
And then you would
Yes.
do that and do your study, do
Okay.
the wash up from the milking of the cows,
Cow.
and
Okay.
you had pulled off your clothes.
You
My mother had drafted me prepared
So
clothes.
did y'all back then have, like when I was growing up in Mississippi, because we was poor, we had what we call school clothes. When we
Yes.
got home, we would have to pull off our school clothes and put on
The
just our
everyday clothes.
everyday clothes.
Yes.
And keep those put them away, so right, so they last longer.
Yeah, that's exactly the same
Yeah.
thing. You had to pull off your school clothes and then put those away. You may wear them the next day, but they kind of prepared for us to wear something every day.
Right, every day.
On that, because the purchasing, my daddy would try to go to school. My mother would sew and do the making of the dresses and
Okay.
that sort of thing, and they would buy the shoes and
And
all of that came. But the study came at home under lamplight,
yeah.
and you studied so long, maybe 2 hours or an hour and a half of complete study, and that was one of the things that they required of us. I liked studying,
You like
and I didn't prepare, and I missed it was in the early grades that they passed me on up, which made me then go on up to 8th grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. But when I got to the 12th grade, I was must have been at least 11 and a half years of age, because I was in college.
Oh, okay.
At 15 years of age, I went to college.
15 years old, guys.
I was in college.
Mom was in college.
I was
Dr.
starting
Hightower
college
was
at that
in
thing.
college.
So now let's go the period between the 9 through that 12th grade.
Okay. So
Well, I was the teachers there. You did little activities. I was in one or two little things. So were some members of the other students. That was a classroom of about 20 or 25 people.
So let me
Students, well.
pause you right here, Mom. Dr. Hightower. I call her Mom now.
I just
But-
said mom.
Okay, Mom. So all the viewers can know, because we started out with your schooling. So you went to a small one-room school,
One-room school.
Uh,
Yes.
walking 3.5 miles one way just to get to school,
Yes.
and then 3.5 miles going back home.
That meant
And
7 miles.
So
a
that
day.
means several miles, about 7 miles every day going back and forth to school. And then your day consists of Monday through Friday during the school time, walking back and forth 7 miles, and then after going home to do chores, and that could be many things, but one of them is like milking the cow. But you have to pull off your school clothes and put them away and put on what they call the everyday clothes back then. This is back in the 1920s that Mom was doing this, during her early years of growing up. But also, she then she went to another school back from 9th to 12th grade. But also at 15 years old, now I understand this, right?
College.
Mom is in college at 15 years old.
I told my dad said, well, she could go. She's young enough. She could take it.
She can take it. And I do believe that, because you're something else right now.
Yeah. So
very, very.
So my
smart.
studies, I did my studies
Right.
well. a number of classes I was exempted. I think of that today.
When kids
You
be
were
exempt,
exempted because you
very
can,
intelligent.
you can pass. Maybe
Right.
they may have given you a little
Right.
kind of test
Right,
to
right.
have exempted
But
you
back
from that
then,
class.
it was totally different. The
Yes.
fact that you're at 15 years old in college,
Yes.
and as I had said before, guys, we're doing Mom's, Dr. Hightower, was a life story.
And remember, it was during that time there was a bus who took the white children, and it would pass us.
Okay.
There
So-
was about 2 or 3 of us walking
So
together.
when you all are walking to school, just want to make sure I reiterate that
The bus
the
passed.
bus, as they would be walking to school, the bus with the white kids on it would pass them by,
Yeah, oh,
and
yes.
while they're walking, and they're all going to the same school, but
Oh, it's not the South, are you? No,
Uh-huh.
we aren't allowed to ride that
right,
bus.
they're not allowed to ride that same bus going to the same school. They would have to walk, regardless of the weather, whether it's raining, snow, very low
that's right.
temperatures.
But
They have
rain
to
and
walk.
snow, my father wouldn't allow us to do that. He would try to get that car or get out
Right.
and take us
Okay,
to
so
school that day.
okay,
But now the books. I can remember very vividly that books were given to us,
yeah,
and they were hand-me-down books.
okay.
They were from the white class, from the white people, and from the white
Okay.
storage
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. So you all got the
and
hand-me-down
they'd
books.
say you're reading a story, or your English book,
Right.
or your math book.
Right.
Amazing big pages. Our page was stolen out of part of the page.
Good. But
So
you
you
still had
have
to
to
use it.
scramble for
Right.
use that book
Right.
to do
Okay.
that, and for your reading, which the libraries were very poor, we didn't have the book to go in
Right.
and finish reading whatever that
Okay.
was in that book.
Okay. And Mom, what we're gonna do? We're gonna stop right here, and we're gonna pick back up.
You can pick back up.